I feel like it's pretty undeniable that women are just generally prettier than men. Not all women, not against all men. There's some good-looking guys, but I think by and large, I think 80 to 90% of North America could probably agree, if not even more, that women just generally tend to be pretty, more hygienic, better fashion, all these things than men. I think it's not a slight at men or anything like that, but I think we can all kind of agree. But I think there's a lot of reasons for this, and I think if society was structured differently, I don't necessarily think this would be the case. Necessarily is a critical word there. I think what makes women better looking than men, like when we go physically, is like they're cleaner. They're generally portrayed as hairless, but women are not hairless. They just go through great lengths of effort by like shaving, laser hair removal, waxing, stuff like that to remove their hair, whereas men are like, screw this, I don't really care. Um, Women also wear things like makeup to kind of bolster their looks and make them look better and try to highlight their best features, stuff like that. Whereas men, we just don't do that. And as I said earlier, fashion, that's a huge one. Guys just don't really give a shit. Whereas women really go to great lengths again to they have outfits and stuff. Like they love that stuff. Whereas men are just like they don't really care, like monotone kind of colors, whatever. And hygiene too, I think is a huge one. I think women really try to like have like a nice scent and be clean and clean their nails and all these things. And guys really again just don't really care. And I think when we really look at all those things, those are the things that yeah, I guess make women more attractive than men generally speaking. And even if you're not attracted to them, like if you're gay or if you're a woman who's straight or whatever, I think they're still prettier though. Is kind of the point that I'm going for here. And when we look at all the reasons as like physically why they're probably better looking than men, it's just effort based things. Men could also be better with fashion, better with style, better with like for some reason I don't know why, but we generally like people who are hairless more. We could go to greater lengths to like shave this stupid stuff. Anything like that. It's not things that we're born with. It's not necessarily genetics that make us better or worse looking than each other. It's for a lot of people at least, like by and large men versus women, it's effort. It's purely effort. So now we have to ask the question, okay, why do men not care and why do women care so much about how they look and how they're perceived and stuff like this? Well, loneliness sucks. Some people are like, I want to be alone. You don't really, generally speaking, 99.9% of people don't want to be alone. It's, I think, one of our subconscious greatest fears, if not our conscious greatest fear, is just being alone in anything. And we really desire being attracted and we really desire companionship and having someone to go through this life thing with, for better, for worse, for all the highs and the lows, right? So if we're all desiring companionship, what do we need to do? We need to make ourselves attractable, right? We're all fishing lures. We need to get a hook on us and we need to throw it out there and we need to hope something's going to want to bite and kind of hang out with us. That's what we're trying to do when we desire this companionship thing. We need to be attractive. So now the question is, what's our currency? That's the biggest thing. My mom always did this. She would, when we got in trouble when we were kids, my brother's currency was toys. He hated losing his toys. So when he was being a douche, she would take all of his toys away and then he'd stop being a douche. My thing, they tried toys and I was never really materialistic. I never cared about stuff like that. But we had a day home and she wouldn't let me hang out with the day home kids and I've always loved being social. Like I like being on my own too, but I've always liked being social. So she stopped letting me hang out with them and that makes me kind of snap back in, start being a respectful kid and not being a little shit, right? And all that comes down to is what's your currency? What what are you willing to give up? What's the thing that like really kind of gets you, right? So in order for me to be attractive to someone, I need to portray things that they find attractive, not what I find attractive, and vice versa. And I'm going very vague, I'm going very general and a bit traditional, but that is by and large how this is going to work. Is well, what do men find attractive, and what do they want out of life? Men want sex. Like we know this. They want attractive women. They want sex. They want the tits. They want the ass. All that kind of stuff. We know this. It's nothing new. So that's why women go to great lengths to shave, to get laser hair removal, to work on style, to be hygienic, to smell good, to like all of these things. They try to be hair, stuff like this. They try to be so conscious of this to be the best looking person they possibly can be. And we see this to great unhealthy like expectations and standards in so many areas with like beauty standards and stuff like plastic surgery where a woman go to great lengths to not age to the point where they actually look worse because they get this plastic surgery because they're so scared of not looking good and not being desired anymore and losing that companionship over like the older they get. That's why women go to great lengths and that's why by and large they look better is because in the effort-based schemes of being an attractive person or not, women put so much more effort in than men, but it's because of a desire to be attracted and to have companionship. And in order to attract men, men don't care if you have a good job, if you have a school degree, if you have a bunch of money and stuff like this. We don't really care, like in large. Like not me, I'd take someone with money, but in large, that's not really what we're going for. A lot of men are just going for aesthetics and for sex. That's what they do. It's just kind of ingrained in them, and that's why women need to look good. Is it so they can attract men in large? Again, I'm speaking heterosexually here. That's why women generally look better. And the byproduct of that is they just so happen now to look better than men in large, even if you're not attracted to women for whatever reason that might be. They still just generally are more pretty than men. That's why that is. Why do men not put this kind of effort in them? Because it seems pretty easy. I'll just, clean yourself, shave, like whatever accordingly. Maybe you rocking a beard, whatever, doesn't really matter. Style your hair, smell good, all of these things, work out, take care of your body, stuff like that. Why don't men do that? Because frankly, women don't give a shit. Because we see so many relationships, like, and I'm not trying to shit on men, I'm not trying to diss women or anything, but we see so many relationships where, like, there's like a really beautiful woman with just like, kind of looking guy might be a great guy, might have a great personality. The reason that he can look and the girl's just absolutely stunningly beautiful is because that's what she needed to be for him to be attracted to her. And he doesn't need to like look good or any of these things. He might have a great personality. He might be funny. He probably has money. He might have a great job, security, and safety. That's what women find attractive. So that's what men strive to be. It'd be a waste of time to just spend all your time being pretty, but not have the money, not being able to provide that safety and security for the vast majority of women. Again, not all women, not all men, but for the vast majority of them. Because women just generally don't care if a guy's like crazy pretty or not. They don't really care about that. That's why we see so many relationships where the woman's always better looking than the man, but the man, generally speaking, is more in control of the finances and stuff like that. Because that's how our society works. We need to pay a certain currency in order to be attracted, in order for people to find us attractive, and in order to get that companionship out of life. And this is why when people are like, why do women care about all this fashion stuff? Why are they like so hard on themselves with their looks? Because men want sex and they want to have a man. Why are men so hard on themselves with getting the best job and having the most money and having power and these things? Because that's what women want out of men. They want safety, they want security. So men have to do that in order to get what they want, which is sex. The women have to look good in order to get what they want, which is safety and security and money and power. So it's a very convoluted kind of system. It's like a figure eight almost. But that's why women look better than men, is because they have to in order to get the things that they want out of life, which ultimately, funnily enough, isn't actually being attractive. And men, in order to get sex out of life, they need to have money and power. So it's a very like indirect way of getting exactly what you want, but that's just how the world works. And honestly, I think if we stripped all of this, maybe like say there's no sexual attraction in the world, or say on the flip side of that, it was the opposite, and men were the one that put effort into looks, I think men would probably be better looking in large than women, just because I think it is really an effort based thing. I think the reason so many guys look terrible is because they just don't care. And the reason so many women don't focus on money and stuff like that is because it doesn't matter, because it's not what ultimately is going to get them a guy. That's exactly why this all works that way. So yeah, that's why I think women are in large better looking than men. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, whatever. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. So if you like this video, like it. If you really liked it, subscribe. If you didn't, don't. Yeah, that's basically it. So leave any comments down below. Thoughts, feelings, opinions, all that kind of stuff. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have other ideas to expand on that? Whatever it might be, let me know. And yeah, that's it for this one. So see you later.